Mic check, man. We live in HD, man. I want to talk about something that's been in the itinerary for a minute. For as video production and content creation from your boy Zone 6. Um, and that's talking about these rap, man, these country rap tunes, and what my opinion and my thoughts is about the rap game. So, had a good conversation with the fellas the other day, and then just throughout life, we've always had these kind of conversations. If you was a cool guy, A lunch, B lunch, middle school, high school, through your college years, adult life, you've always probably had a conversation about music. I'm specifically talking about rap. Sometimes it bleed over into R&B, but I'm specifically talking about rap. Now, one of the main things that has been said here in recent years about rap is that the South dominates the rap scene. Okay? Some may oppose that because they are in their bag and in their feelings, and some may agree with that, right? But I hold the opinion of this right here is that the South has dominated rap since 98, after the passing of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Okay? And I think there was a clear space and time, and it was clearly obvious in 1998 up until now that the South dominates rap in the radio waves, right? So I'm going to say this, and this is what I've always said. I don't really think New York never had it. You see what I'm saying? I don't think the East Coast never had it, right? I don't think New Jersey, Philly, New York, and wherever else their rappers may or may not come from up north and on the East Coast up top, I don't think they ever really had control of rap with no notable significance. Okay? Now, a lot of people will argue and go back and say, well, um, boom bap, back in the boom bap days, with KRS-One and, Curtis Blow and all that kind of stuff, they may say, New York kind of had it then. All right, cool. The West Coast took it over from there. And once the West Coast let it go, the East Coast never had rap again. They've had highlighted artists, and a lot of their artists are questionable. And I'm going to stick to that real quick, and I'm going to make a couple of parts to this because this is a trendy topic. Like, I'm sick of all this extra credit for up north in the East Coast in the rap game, bro. The East Coast ain't like that. It ain't like that. They got some cool song makers, some cool writers, some cool producers, but the East Coast ain't like that, bro. It's just not like that. The biggest artist that you got that's coming out of the East Coast is, we're going to cite Jay-Z all the time. Jay-Z has stolen so many lyrics, so many bars, so many verses from all over the West Coast, from the East Coast. Jay-Z is the biggest biter and stealer and plagiarized artist in all-time history. Jay-Z probably takes a collage of everybody else great lyrics and hot lines and put it into his own package and remix it, and we think that's somehow clever. No, that's not clever. You're a biter. Okay? If you take all of the materials that Jay-Z has stolen and recited from Biggie, Snoop, Big Daddy Kane, Ice-T, Big L, so forth and so on, Jay-Z body of work would not be as extensive as it is if you take all of the stuff that he's stolen from other people, or quote unquote borrowed from other people. His catalog would not be that long, and his longevity would be not that long either. You would come to a clear recognition that, like, okay, this dude really ain't like that. You see what I'm saying? And I get it. I know Jay-Z is a staple for up top artists and up top fans. But the truth of the matter is, bro, Jay-Z is a thief. He's the best that they got. And then when you come down to the East Coast in this rap scene, you got to think about it. When Snoop came through, crushed the buildings, Tupac trashed all your top MCs, nobody did anything about it. Nobody responded directly. You had some subliminal shots here or there, but you didn't have nobody to really directly try to challenge Pac or the West Coast in its battle rap scene. In New York claim to be like the biggest battle rappers and beefers of all time in rap. They claim to have the best bars. No, you don't. When Pop came through and swept your greatest guy, Biggie, he destroyed him down to just nothing. He destroyed Mobb Deep. He destroyed Jay-Z. He destroyed Nas. Tupac cleared that whole scene. Corrupt went over there and destroyed some of your guys. Snoop came through, knocked down the buildings. New York, New York. He stomped down the buildings. You guys lost to the West Coast pretty bad. Okay? So I don't know where we getting all these. You guys got all these good MCs and these proven MCs. Internally, y'all battle each other. And even then, when we go back to Jay-Z, he lost to Nas. He got destroyed by Nas. Like this guy, and then Wayne dusted him off. Wayne has dusted Jay-Z off in a vicious way. So I don't understand all this, the South is not dominant. Who's stopping it? Who else is doing it? It ain't the West Coast. The West Coast just came back to life after being dormant for decades. West Coast just finally got Kendrick Lamar and TDE. The South been running the music game forever. And on top of that, the South has always ran the jazz scene, blues, all that kind of stuff, and sent you guys to the Midwest and sent you guys to up north to expand on jazz culture, historical music culture back in the day before rap. So a lot of this instrumentation comes from guys coming out of the South, relocating up into the Midwest and up into the North and going out West so that they can play and display their instrumentation in the all black facilities without nobody kind of hating on them, coming in, busting down with all that racism and stuff like that. So a lot of the music originates and starts from the South, even if you want to go from there. Now, a lot of people from the East Coast have a problem. They don't seem to understand this. That's why their scene is terrible. Like, stuff that the East Coast do just don't make sense. Like, that's why musically, they'll never be on top. They'll never get rap again. They ain't gonna never have it. You let 50 Cent come in. This is the stupid stuff that the East Coast do. You let 50 Cent come in and crush Ja Rule, who was one of y'all biggest artists, and y'all turned your back on the man Ja Rule. Now look at 50. 50 ain't even nowhere to be found, and you lost Ja Rule. So you turned your back on Ja Rule to go with 50 in his movement, and G-Unit ain't even around no more like that. See, that's the idiotic stuff that the East Coast do to their artists. Nas clearly destroyed Jay-Z, but you still got guys trying to figure out how to make it like Jay-Z won the battle. No, he did not win the battle, bro. Pac destroyed the whole entire East Coast. Then you got guys like KRS-One silly ass. He now this is Mr. Knowledge reign supreme over everybody. He tries to battle Nelly, but you ain't never tried to battle Jay-Z and LL and none of them in DMX. You chose out of everybody to have a beef with, to battle with KRS-One, New York hip-hop's finest. You tried to battle Nelly. You ain't try that shit with Ludacris. Ludacris would have ate your ass off the bone. You ain't KRS-One didn't try that shit with nobody in the South. He ain't try that shit with 3-6 Mafia. He ain't try that shit with them boys in Florida, Trick Dad in them. He ain't try that shit with Cash Money or Master P. KRS-One, you know what I'm saying? This is the stuff that the East Coast do that's ridiculous when it comes down to the music. It's not a knock on them. It's just that you'll never get it back, and you ain't never had it because the South dominates. The South dominates the airwaves right now and has been for the last 27 years. New rap, old rap, 2000 rap before streaming the CDs when it was supposed to be legit. Ludacris, T.I., Gucci Man, Jeezy, No Limit, that whole record label and that movement, Cash Money Millionaires and that whole movement and record label, Slip and Slide with Trick Daddy, Rick Ross, Trina, 3-6 Mafia and Hypnotized Mind, Tell Me Right the Third, Player Fly, all of those guys like that, that's the South. Big Texas with Chamillionaire, Mike Jones, all that movement right there, just chopped and screwed kind of stuff, everything like that. The South has dominated. Scarface, the Ghetto Boys, everything you could think of in the South has been dominant since after Pac and Biggie's death from 98 on up into now. There's not even a question about it. When you look at the album sales, when you look at the cultural impact, you look at the lyrics, and I had a guy talking about Public Enemy is better than Outkast. As a group, they're greater than Outkast as a group. The most ridiculous shit that I've ever heard in my life. Chuck D is a level 2 to level 3 lyricist at best. Andre 3000 is considered, even though he's in a group, they're trying to consider him as the greatest MC, lyrical MC of all time. Over Nas and Jay-Z and Eminem and all them. Everybody, and he's in a group. So it's no way that Public Enemy or Mobb Deep or any of these two-man groups are greater than Outkast under no circumstances. It's already set in stone that Outkast is the greatest two-man group, rapping group in history. Now, if you want to start bringing in Bone Thugs, that's a 4-5 man group. If you want to bring in Goody Mob, if you want to bring in the Locks, if you want to do conglomerates, talking about Dipset as a whole group, okay, you want to do the Hot Boys as a whole group, that's a whole different story. Those are conglomerates. You know what I'm saying? Those are conglomerates. You want to throw in Wu-Tang, okay. I don't think Wu-Tang is better than Cash Money. I don't think Wu-Tang is better than Young Money. I don't think nothing that Wu-Tang has produced is better than the conglomerate of Death Row when they had their turn. I don't think Wu-Tang is better than the conglomerate of Rough Riders when they had their run. I just don't see that as a plausible thing. I know people like Wu-Tang, but they say stuff like I hit you with a liquid sword. Like, they do a lot of karate talk, a lot of weird kind of funky entendres that they swear be so fucking deep. Like, they don't be that deep. Like, the niggas don't be really saying nothing. It's a lot of make-believe. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of make-believe, a lot of karate, a lot of blowing people backs with a shotgun all the way to Jupiter. Like, it's a lot of exaggerations and a lot of exaggerated punchlines and a whole bunch of methodical type of bars. Okay? That's just what the East Coast have. And ain't nobody knocking that. That's cool because we think a lot of that stuff is comical. But, bro, at the end of the day, the South will always and continue to dominate music forever because no one's going to take it away. If the Midwest got a stronger case than anybody else on the West Coast or the East Coast, in my opinion, I think the Midwest is slept on for some reason. You know what I'm saying? They got Bone Thugs and Harmony. They got Crucial Conflict. Then, you know, you start throwing R&B in there. They got Kales. They throw Michael Jackson in there. But I don't want to, you know, get into some other genres. But when you start talking about rap in the Midwest, Eminem, Kanye West, those are big, major, huge artists. So I just want to say, you know, I'm looking for smoke, man, on this topic, man. This ain't going to be a long one. Whoever wants smoke on this, you know, bring your DMXs, your Jay-Z's. You can bring in your KRS-Ones. They trash. None of them ain't never beat nobody from the South in no battle. So I don't know what is this notion that up top in East Coast rap, these guys are so battle tested. They're not battle tested. They don't win their battles. They really just don't win their battles. Like, they don't have no major wins. Like, it's not like everybody can point to the East Coast and say, boy, man, I remember that. No, you got Benny Siegel versus Jada. Benny Siegel torched Jada's ass. You got Nas versus Jay-Z. Nas torched his ass. You got Cameron versus Jay-Z. Cameron tore his ass up. Like, I don't understand where all this lyrical content is coming from the East Coast, where they getting all this reputation from. They don't have a good reputation like that. only on the East Coast. Midwest, the West Coast, the South don't adhere to the East Coast ranking system. Nobody does that. Nobody's got no, bro. It's just not that. That is what it is. So yeah, it's a real quick one. Just looking for smoke, just to trash the East Coast rappers and put them in a place because it's overdue. The East Coast ain't shit. They probably the worst coast when it comes to music. The West Coast stumped them down real bad. The South been dominated. They definitely don't want no smoke with the South. And I don't even know what if they're better than the Midwest, to be quite honest with you. You know, because Eminem can walk a lot of them guys down. Kanye West can walk them guys down. So when it come down to the rap scene, the South dominates the entire rap scene. The West Coast does not dominate rap. You only got Kendrick Lamar, who ate up Drake, who's a Canadian rapper. That's it. Kendrick Lamar ain't did nothing but mess with Drake his whole career, who's a Canadian dude, who everybody think is a soft, easy target by and large anyway. It's not like the West Coast got anything besides Kendrick Lamar. I ain't saying y'all ain't had it. We obviously know the West Coast did dominate rap at a certain period of time. We can't get that twisted. But the West Coast ain't got nothing. And Kendrick Lamar, the reason Kendrick Lamar has got material now is because of his beef with the Canadian guy. Outside of that, he was just sitting there looking crazy. Wu-Tang Clan is overrated, man. Nobody, that shit they be talking about at 36, bro, that is overrated. Their bars is way karate, methodical, comic book type of bars. They're not talking about no real nothing. There's nothing about Wu-Tang that's really good. You God, Spectre Deck, Ghostface, all them guys, man, they're overrated. Nobody went checking for no Wu-Tang in the South. I don't know what y'all doing on the West Coast, but no one was checking for no Wu-Tang in the South. If I pull up these guys from the South, say name all the members of Wu-Tang Clan, people gonna be like, I don't know. ODB at best. Some of them don't even know Method Man is in the Wu-Tang Clan. The only people who keep talking about Wu-Tang is old dudes that was born in the 70s, bro, who grew up on Dolomite and karate movies. Now, is RZA great at his cinema stuff and producing tracks for movies? Yeah, that's a whole different story. But nah, bro. Nah. The South dominate. It will continue to dominate. I'm calling out all East Coast hip hop heads. The South smashed the East Coast, always will, and will forever do it. And the East Coast, it can't fuck with the South, and the West Coast can't fuck with the South either. Nope, not at all. All right, that's what I'm saying. And if anybody wants smoke, set it up, line it up, and we can look it up and see what's going on. Nobody's checking for the West Coast like that outside of Kendrick Lamar. Really, that shit corny. That shit really just some West Coast shit. That not like us, that shit ain't good. That shit just cool. The battle with him and Drake was epic because it was something that everybody wanted to see. Everybody wanted to see Drake lose. So Kendrick got extra credit for beating up on Drake. Man, come on, bro. The nigga ain't finna, the nigga Kendrick ain't finna go against nobody that's really like that in the music game that's good. The nigga he not finna do that. He not finna battle nobody like JID. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna call out nobody like that. I'm telling you, bro. He's gonna stick to the low hanging fruit, which is Drake, because Drake got so much that you can hit him on, and Drake do a lot of pie stuff. So it's easy to beat up on Drake, no doubt, but it's easy to do that. So the South is dominating through and through, and it is what it is. The West Coast ain't fucking with the South. The Midwest ain't fucking with the South, and the East Coast ain't fucking with the South. The South controls rap, period. And it'll always be that way to the end of time.